In big international news, Israel and Hamas have actually found themselves kinda on the same side for once after leaders from both sides became the target of potential arrest warrants by the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. And in particular, he wants to get Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, as well as 3 Hamas leaders of war crimes and crimes against humanity. While this can sound like a major deal, it's also very likely that not much is going to come from it, at least for some time, if ever. At least for the leaders of Israel, and we'll also get to that in a second. But, first off, a 3-judge panel still needs to approve the warrant, which is notably something that the United States is heavily pushing back against, with President Biden calling it outrageous and saying, "We will always stand with Israel against threats to its security," which also, it shouldn't come as a shock, as the U.S. has long been opposed to the ICC and isn't party to it, which also means that even if an arrest warrant was made, the U.S. wouldn't enforce it. Meanwhile, Israel has also condemned the move, with the foreign minister calling it a historic disgrace that will be remembered forever, and that the country would work to ensure that any potential warrants are never enforced on Israeli leaders. And this, as Hamas has also condemned the ICC, saying that it, quote, equates the victim with the executioner. With this, one of the questions is, what exactly is the ICC pointing to in order to justify these warrants? And there, for Hamas, Chief Prosecutor Karim Khan pointed to the October 7th attacks, saying that these acts demand accountability. As for Netanyahu and Gallant, Khan said, the effects of the use of starvation as a method of warfare, together with other attacks and collective punishment against the civilian population of Gaza, are acute, visible, and widely known. They include malnutrition, dehydration, profound suffering, and an increasing number of deaths among the Palestinian population, including babies, other children, and women. However, with all this, even if a warrant is never executed, this could still serve as a big blow for both sides. Right, for Hamas, it would make traveling even harder, not to mention that they'd be in big trouble if Fatah, which controls the West Bank, is given control of all of Palestine again. Right, and that's because Palestine accepted the ICC's jurisdiction back in 2015, unlike Israel. With that actually pointing to a major reason the ICC was set up. It's an independent court that's supposed to help places with a failing judicial system go after war criminals. And in Israel's case, it argues that it has a functioning judiciary and doesn't need the ICC. As a matter of fact, it's because of this and other factors that many nations don't even recognize the court, including the United States, Russia, and China. Hell, the US even levied sanctions on the ICC prosecutor back in 2020 for their attempts to look into potential American war crimes in Afghanistan before Biden lifted them in 2021. Vladimir Putin, he's flaunted an arrest warrant since March of 2023 by traveling with seemingly no issues. Though that's also backed up by the realities of world politics. Right? Actually arresting Putin or Netanyahu or any leader with a capable military would probably mean serious retaliation. So they have that bubble, whereas Hamas would not. But that doesn't mean that Netanyahu would be able to just go anywhere that he wants, as some countries may still risk it. That becomes even more true once he's out of power. Though also, while he is in power, it still could make other countries reluctant to help him and Israel over fears of looking like they're helping an alleged war criminal. But of course, with this news, whether you see it as symbolic or something that's actionable, I'd love to know your thoughts.